A very good afternoon to you all. So, today through this video lecture, I will be discussing the basic concepts related to this topic, exponents and powers, which is the 12th chapter in your book, consisting of two exercises 12.1 and 12.2. So, today my focus will be upon the basic concepts related to your exercise 12.1. So, as the chapter name suggests, that exponent and power. Let us make it very clear. What do you mean by exponent and what do you mean by power? Suppose I am thinking of any number 5 and I have written like 5 into 5 into 5. So, here it will be written as 5 raised to the power 3. One thing. Second, suppose I am writing 7 and then I have written 7 square, suppose it is, so 7 into 7, so this is 7 square. This number was 5, which was multiplied 3 times, so I have expressed in terms of 5 raised to the power 3. Here it was given like 7 square, so I have expanded in terms of its power, that is 7 into 7. So for any number x, suppose if this is the number here and the power is n, so I have to multiply this n how many times? So on n times. N times, whatever the n will be equal to, if it is a natural number, so if n is given 5, so I need to multiply x 5 times. Now what is exponent? So this power 3, this power 3, this power 2, and this power n. So these powers 3, 2, n in 7, 5 raised to the power 3, 7 raised to the power 2, and x raised to the power n. These 3, 2, n are called exponents. These are called exponents, or you can call the powers, or you can call the index. This also can be called an index, or you can call the index number also. Index number also. So, whatever is there in the power, that's why I said this may be known as the power also. These are called the exponents. And at the same time, this 5, this 7, and this x, 5, 7, x are called the bases. Are called the bases. So make it very clear. What do you mean by a base and what do you mean by a power? So when we are writing in exponential form, we are always expressing our answer in terms of its power. Please remember that. Like this is given and question is express 5 into 5 into 5 in exponential form, or in power form, or in index form, or in terms of its index number. So that's why I made it very clear. You be clear with all these terms, that is exponent, power, index, or index number. Suppose sometime we are just restricted to exponent or power only. Index and index number are also the powers or the exponents. If I am asking express 5 into 5 into 5 in terms of its index number, so index number is the power, that is 5 raised to the power 3. I hope that is clear to you all. So these are the exponential forms whenever I am expressing my answer in terms of its power. But if this is the exponential form and is asking to express this in usual form, please keep a watch upon the power. Or the question is evaluate 7 raised to power 2. So again you need to keep a check upon the power. How many times I need to apply, I need to multiply. So if the power is 2, so you have to multiply it twice. If the power is 3, you have to multiply thrice. That's why I said if the power is n, where n is any natural number, so I have to keep a watch what is n is given equal to. If it is 5 times multiply. If it is 7 times multiply. If it is 3 times multiply, and so on. So powers are called the exponents or the index numbers or the index, and of which the power is there, those all are taken as the bases. So that is the meaning I have cleared to you. What do you mean by exponent and what is the power? Now let us quickly recapitulate the laws. So basically, laws of exponents you have studied in your previous classes also, which is the part of your first exercise, that is 12.1 in exercise problems. So your first law is the law of addition. First law is also called the law of addition. Law of addition. So that means what? Suppose I am writing here, it is x raised to the power a into x raised to the power b. So I have to express it like x raised to the power a plus b. Bases are same, powers are different, so powers will always be added. Such a law is called law of addition. So this is the first law, which is known as the law of addition. I hope that is clear to you all. Please keep a watch. Bases must be same. If the powers are different and are getting multiplied over there, you need to add the bases. For example, suppose I say here 5 raised to the power 2 into 5 raised to the power 3. So I have to write finally 2 plus 3, and that will be equal to 5 raised to the power 5 will be the answer. So for this law, bases must be same. Powers may be different, but I have to add when the numbers are getting multiplied. So that is the first law, which is over now. Then second law, that is called the law of subtraction also. Second law, which is called the law of subtraction. What to do here? Again the same thing is there. Now it will be taken like divided, x raised to the power a divided by x raised to the power b. Then the powers will be minused, x raised to the power a minus b, x raised to the power a minus b. For example, 7 raised to the power 5 divided by 7 raised to the power 2. So it will be 7 raised to the power 5 minus 2. So answer will be 7 raised to the power 3. So when I am going to minus the powers, but please keep a watch, bases are same and the sign of division will be there. In case of subtraction, so answer will be 7 raised to the power 3. So in case of multiplication, we have to add. In case of division, we have to subtract. The difference is only of these signs, but bases are same always. So this is called the law of addition. This is called the law of subtraction. That is the second law. Third law is the law of division. Third law we call the law of division. So what happens here in law of division? If it is, suppose x raised to the power a divided by x raised to the power b. So I will be writing like x raised to the power a divided by x raised to the power b. It can be represented like this. But suppose if you are taking this power down, then you can express it like 1 upon x raised to the power b minus a, x raised to the power b minus a, and that is again possible if and if only the bases are same. If you are taking this up, then it will be a minus b, x raised to the power a minus b. So this is called the law of division. This is called the law of division. X raised to power a when divided by x raised to power b, that is x upon a whole upon x raised to power b. Now if you want to take this a down, you can keep 1 in the numerator, then subtract this power a from b, because you have shifted numerator to denominator, so then 1 will be there. If you are taking this b up, then it will be x raised to power a minus b. Then you will be back to that law. But in case of division, when you are dividing, so you need to represent your numerator in terms of 1. Then it is called the law of division. So for example, suppose I am writing here 8 raised to the power 5 divided by 8 raised to the power 2. So I just can express it 1 upon 8 raised to the power 2 minus 5. So I can say 1 upon 8 raised to the power minus 3 also. So this will be the answer. 2 minus 5. My numerator is there 1. So finally, if the question is conditional, express the exponent in terms of its positive sign. Then you can take the reciprocal of this. When it will go up, you can write that is equal to 8 raised to the power 3 also. So if the question is conditional, otherwise you can leave it here also. So this is called the law of division. Then your fourth law, is also known as law of involution. Law of involution. What does it means? Means ki we are calling this the power law also. Suppose I am saying x raised to the power a and whole raised to the power b. Nothing to do, simply you have to multiply these powers. A into b can be expressed as x raised to the power ab. For example, if I am saying 2 raised to the power 3 raised to the power 4, so it will be expressed as 2 raised to the power 3 into 4. So that is called 2 raised to the power 12. So this law, power law also you can say, law of involution, power, whole power. Power will be taken 2 times. So then I need to use the bracket over there. If it is given x raised to the power a and then it's whole raised to the power b, so I need to multiply these powers all the times. So x raised to the power a multiply b will give you x raised to the power a into b. So I have given you the example. If it is 2 raised to the power 3 raised to the power 4, you multiply the powers only. So 3 into 4, 2 raised to the power 12. By multiplying 2 12 times, I can write the answer of that question. So this is called the law of involution. And then the fifth law is law of zero exponent. Law of zero exponent. So what is this? If power is x, base is x and power is 0, that is always equal to 1. Anytime whatsoever is the base, please remember that, and the power is 0 all the times, so that result will give you the answer always equal to 1. Remember this. This is the law of zero exponent. This is the law of zero exponent. If to any of the base, suppose for example I am saying this is minus 17 upon 100 and power is 0. So I have to focus my attention upon the power. Once you are finding the power is 0, blindly you can write that is equal to 1. Law of zero exponent, as it is mentioned exponent, I said exponent is the power. So you have to focus your attention here. So then this becomes always equal to 1. So these are the 5 laws. I have coded one example each to explain these laws so that you can understand that, and be careful. Try to code your own examples to have the thorough knowledge of this. Otherwise you have done in your previous classes also. So a kind of recapitulation here we are doing. After this, these chapters will not be the part of your syllabus in your high school classes, that is your class 9 and 10. So you have to use all these results as the utilities or as the tools to solve the questions in class 9 as well as in 10. So important from learning outcome point of view, you need to pay attention to the results of all these laws, and that knowledge you have to carry forward to your next classes. Few other points which you have to remember. Suppose if the base is negative, I am taking as minus 1. You remember either the power will be odd or the power will be even in case of minus. Base I am sharing with you. If the base is negative and you are finding the power is odd, again the base is negative and the power is even. So in case of odd power, your answer will be consisting of negative sign. Your answer will always be consisting of negative sign. But if it is even, your answer will always be consisting of positive sign. This is nothing new I am sharing with you, dear students. You know all. I will just quote the one example to make you people this point very clear. You know it very well. Somewhere you have done in all classes 6 and 7. Like I am saying minus 1 raised to the power 3. Now this is the odd power. What happens? Minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1. The thing I shared with you in previous topic also, that was the case of your linear equation or of the rational numbers. I said first attention you have to pay to the sign. Whatever the operation is there, there are 4 fundamental operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Whatsoever the operation you are bringing into practice, you have to work out within the signs first. So here what happens? Why it is coming negative? I said because if you'll multiply minus with minus, you know minus into minus is plus, and plus into minus is always minus. Then the answer will be 1 into 1 is 1. So negative will remain negative. And if it is like even, suppose I am taking the power is 4. 4 you know is an even number. So minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1. Now 4 times. So minus into minus plus, plus into minus minus, and minus into minus again will make it plus. So whenever the power is even, the result will always be in positive, and whenever the power is odd, the result will always be the negative one. But the condition is the base must be consisting of the negative sign. So very unique result you need to keep remember. And zero exponent already I have explained to you. And whenever you are talking from this sign point of view, like a raised to the power minus n, and you want to express it in terms of its positive exponent, always take the reciprocal of that. Always take the reciprocal of that. If it is a raised to the power minus n, you can express it in terms of 1 upon a raised to the power n. If it is, suppose 1 upon a raised to the power minus n, and you want to express it in its positive terms, then again you take the reciprocal. So answer will be a raised to the power n. So these are the few other points which you have to remember from your basic learning outcomes point of view. So if negative exponent you are going to represent in terms of its positive, it is given like this, you take the reciprocal to make it positive. If it is there in the denominator, you shift it to the numerator. Again you need to take the reciprocal of that, then the answer will be a raised to the power n. So please make a note of that. These all are the points which you have to which you have to use in your exercise 12.1. So these are the contents I shared with you today, and you have to go through these all points so that you can begin with your exercise 12.1 of your textbook. So I would be taking back-to-back questions during your live class, and before that you also can just think about the solution by keeping all these laws in your mind. There are two exercises. Second exercise is a bit different. For that, basic concepts will be definitely taken later on, and by the next time during the live class, I would be definitely sharing back-to-back solution of these. And 9-10 questions are there, I think, in exercise 12.1. 10 questions are there. So I definitely will guide you how to solve these questions. Randomly I'll be picking up to make you understand how you can go through. So remaining parts will be left to you. If any queries will be there regarding this today's discussion, so I'll come back to you during your live class. Till then, have a nice time. Bye bye. Thank you.